Hi, I've been gathering herbs today and I'm getting them ready now to store for the winter. The days are getting shorter and darker and cooler, and there'll be frost just round the corner. I was surprised this morning when I went outside about 6:15 actually how chilly it was, and there's that amazing scent of autumn in the air. It's lovely. And many of these herbs will just start slowing down and dying back for the winter months, such as the mint here, or this lemon balm, and also this beautiful calendula. Although calendula can keep going a surprisingly long time, I've had it go right through the winter, now is a much better time for collecting the petals for preserving. And some of these will just keep growing through the winter, such as the sage or the bay, this rosemary or this thyme. But although they can be picked fresh during the daytime, I think it's really useful to have some dried in the house, in the kitchen, ready to use if you want them. Because imagine you're there, you're making dinner in the evening, and you think, I need some rosemary for my roast potatoes, and it's in the garden, and it's raining, and it's cold, and you've got to go out with a torch and a knife in the dark, in the wet, to get your rosemary for the roast potatoes. I have done that on more than one occasion. So it's a good idea to have them in the house. The days are a lot shorter, and if you're out at work all day, it's not going to be possible to pick fresh herbs for your dinner from the garden, because you leave in the dark and you get home in the dark. So I do have an electric dehydrator, and if I wanted these dry like today, then that's what I'd be using. They'd be dry in a few hours, but I'm going to be using much more simple and off-grid methods for drying these herbs. So literally just tying string round the base and then hanging them up in the house from hooks. In my dreams I'd have beams. I don't have any beams, so these are just going from hooks or in the airing cupboard. If you've got carpet, or you're drying herbs such as this mint, which can tend to have like bits that drop off, it's a plan to pop them inside a little paper bag before hanging them, and then they'll dry beautifully still, but the bits will stay in the bag and not get all over the carpet or land on your head. You want to put them somewhere that's dry and airy, not where anybody's smoking or lighting joss sticks or anything like that. Otherwise, your lovely lemon verbena will be infused with tobacco or joss stick, which isn't quite the taste that we're going for. Another way of drying them is on these beautiful herb drying trays. My dad lives in Thailand, and when I've gone out there before, when we could travel more, I would bring back these lovely trays, and I spread the herbs out on there and put them on a clothes area, one of those racks where you put your clothes to dry. And so they're really super handy for that. I have several of them drying on there. It's nice and airy, and they take a few days to dry. The advantage is obviously no bits fall out, or you could use those bamboo steamers. I do have one. We haven't unpacked it yet though, so I don't know where it is, but they're really, really good because they're handy for smaller quantities of things, and they come with a little lid, so it's very self-contained, really good for drying things. Or these mushroom trays, and just line the bottom with a clean tea towel or paper towel. The advantage is they stack, and obviously they're full of holes, and you spread your herbs out, put them somewhere dry and airy in the house, and they'll dry beautifully. So very, very simple ways of drying these herbs. I'm going to be using them for all kinds of things, obviously for cooking, but also for lots of different herbal teas in the winter. So when I'm drying the mint, I don't mind drying lots of different varieties together, because it is quite nice having like multi-mint tea in the winter. Nice slice of lemon in, yum. Or it's actually nice in cooking too. And I like to drink lemon verbena tea. It's one of my favourite things of all. This is also really nice in the bath, or if you get a bowl with some Epsom salts and put some lemon verbena in hot water, put your feet in. Oh, that is so nice. Add thyme tea, tastes horrible, really good for sore throats. Rosemary tea, I like that. I find it's just a really delicious, refreshing tea. It's meant to be good for thought, so that's always handy, isn't it? And I use lemon balm tea, which again is like really delicious. It's also meant to be good for the brain, so hopefully. And I am prone to cold sores, and it is a traditional beneficial tea if you're prone to cold sores. Obviously, I'm not offering herbal cures here. I'm not a trained herbalist. These are just herbal teas that are nice and refreshing. If you have any kind of medication, though, obviously you'd know to always check before having any herb teas that it doesn't react with your medication. With the lovely calendula, I pick off the petals before they dry. I just find it easier doing it that way. And these can be used then to make calendula tea in the winter, or sprinkled into salads or rice. It just adds a lovely zingy colour. It's nice to do that with cornflowers too. You get this amazing blue that you can add to dishes in the winter. Really just brightens things up. And another thing I like to do is make calendula oil, which is for the skin. So I get just a lovely clean dry jam jar, pick off the petals, put them in the jar, thrown it on the floor because I'm in the garden, and you need to imagine for time that I've half filled this jar with the petals, and then I would top it up with olive oil, any kind of olive oil. Just the standard stuff is fine, because this isn't a culinary recipe, it is for your skin. And then put it with the lid on the counter in the kitchen, where you'll remember it, and shake it every day for 2 or 3 weeks. So you need to think, I've half filled it with petals, filled it to the top with olive oil. I'll be doing that once I finish the video. And then after 2 or 3 weeks, strain it through a sieve, put the petals in the compost, and you've got a lovely oil that will store in a cool, dark place for about a year. And you can put it on your skin. It's nice if you've got like dry skin. It's nice sort of if your skin's just going a bit sort of itchy and things during the winter. It's just nice and soothing. And you can also mix it with beeswax or one of the plant-based waxes and make a lovely healing, comforting salve too. So that's some of the things I'll be doing with these herbs. And one thing I really like actually about drying herbs is it does look really nice around the house, doesn't it? All these bunches of herbs, there's just something kind of nurturing about it.